she is.
He handled just the paperwork. He's like, see, we get paid. I was like, we get paid.
It's like, I don't, not very much money.
Well, Nathan, I've heard,
Yeah, I didn't
maybe I've heard
know.
wrong, but is there some
He's like,
kind
no, we
of,
gotta pay.
Yeah.
Oh,
is controversy
okay.
about the ADA accessibility here
Yeah.
in the courthouse after all the renovations?
That's an offline conversation.
Okay, never mind then.
Neither there is an impact.
I have all this stuff for you, Nathan. So like I saw in the email that, like, do I need to bring like notification stuff? Like I can't stay after today and do it. If I could just tell me, like, do I just do it or just
No idea. What's your name?
I guess I should look like I'm back.
Anita?
Yep.
That's you.
Are you in your office tomorrow?
Okay.
Afternoon meetings.
Thank you, sir.
You don't need to see me for that. You just need to go to the
See
office.
her?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Anita. My name's Vernon.
Vernon.
Hi.
I'm Anita Messer.
Okay.
You're the second Vernon I know.
Yeah, there's not too many of us around.
No, it's kind of nice though.
Hey, I still want you to do my
Yeah.
business.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Mike and Jenny.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I need to get with
Like out there, they're
Anyway.
It's not urgent, you know. We just
It is 11:31. Check. And I will call this meeting to order, advising that we do not have a quorum. Hi, Kelsey.
Hi.
But Kelsey is
Wherever we go, where's the camera?
right up there under Kelsey.
Okay, so there, we way up there? Okay.
So we cannot take any final action today, but we had Amy joining us. Food is on its way, and we need, if there is one lesson I hope we have learned from the last couple of years, these conversations about how we allocate our tourism marketing budget, the earlier we start this conversation, the better. And I didn't actually know until an hour or so ago that we wouldn't have a quorum, and I didn't want to cancel it last minute. So we'll start the conversations, and we will have to pick things up ASAP. And so Kelsey is joining us, but she cannot legally participate in the meeting because we have not adopted a virtual attendance policy. So that is going to be on the agenda for the next, a couple of the commissions I work with have those already. The county commissioners and county council do, and we're going to make sure that we do that as well. And maybe if necessary, Tom can join on from a cruise.
That's right.
So anyway, I am, as most of you, if not all of you know, Nathan Orger. I'm the Community Development Director for Pulaski County. We could quickly do introductions. We do have two new members here, just so everyone knows who's talking to, and Christy doesn't call Tom Brad again this year.
I'm Vernon Gillum. I work at the state park. So
Okay. I'm Anita Messer. I'm the director of the Francisville Salem Township Public Library.
I'm Tom Miller. I own a construction company and a couple Airbnbs.
I'm Diana Day. I'm a part of the Pulaski County Farmers Market and the Pulaski County Tribe.
All right, so we cannot elect officers, but we can at least have a quick conversation update on that. Last year, Dave Scott served as our president. He has advised me that he does not want to continue serving as president because he doesn't have enough interest in the work that the CDC does more broadly, as opposed to his interest in tourism specifically. And serving as president means an automatic seat on the CDC. So we are going to have to find somebody who is willing to step up in that role this year. Tom was our vice president last year. President is not here. Vice president runs meetings. That's basically it. And then our secretary was Sue Cast, who has resigned because I don't know if they're fully moved yet, but she and Jim are moving to Ohio to be closer to their family. Secretary is not asked to record meeting minutes, just to review them after Taylor or I have written them so that we've got board member eyes on them before they're disseminated for final approval. So at the next meeting, we will have to elect those positions. Is anyone willing to serve as a secretary pro tem and review the notes I take from this meeting so that we've got something formal on the record when we approve at the next meeting when we have a quorum? Vernon?
I can
you
do
want
it,
to
yeah.
that?
I've been doing it, so that's
You don't
fine.
want me to do it.
Thank you. All right, so without being able to address the election or the consent agenda today, I will hop right into old business. Very briefly catch you up to speed on that. Pulaski County is currently preparing to dive into a comprehensive planning process. The county has not updated its comprehensive plan since it was adopted in 2009. And so the tourism strategic plan that we had started working on in 2024 has sort of been on hold until that gets moving. It was supposed to start last year, but we had some issues with the grant application process, both on the county side and because Dairyville is working to build a new fire station, and because the township and not the town is the owner, and townships are not allowed to apply for grants, the county is going to have to be the applicant of record for that grant. So eventually the county decided that we will proceed with a comprehensive plan without grant funding. The RFPs have gone out. Proposals are due back at the end of February. I don't think it's necessary that the comprehensive plan is done before the strat plan, before we get back to work on the strategic plan, but I think it needs to be deep enough into the process that we see what sort of public input the consultants get specifically regarding tourism in those conversations. And then I will speak with the members who were serving on that tourism, on the strategic plan committee, and see if they're still interested or if we need to see other members want to get involved in that process once we reboot it. But so that's where things are with the strategic plan and with the comprehensive plan into new business. The comprehensive plan is ultimately the advisory plan commission's baby, but because we have put together a very broad request for proposals that covers a lot of ground, the CDC and all of the other commissions that work with the CDC, including the TAC, to be a part of that conversation. I don't know, depending on how many meetings we need to have to address budgeting and other matters and what the timeline of the comprehensive plan project looks like, I don't know for sure what we'll end up doing. We may try to schedule a TAC meeting for the sole purpose of having a conversation and hearing a presentation from consultants. What we've also discussed is possibly doing sort of a joint meeting where we get all like 15 to 20 members of these different commissions in one room with the consultants. So we're not asking them to repeat things, and maybe we can open up some cross-commission dialogue between the redevelopment commission if they start talking about a project that like may be primarily focused on creating amenities for residents, but would have some additional benefit in attracting, like having that conversation as part of it. So we'll see where that goes. Among the commissions that work with me in the CDC, the REDEV commission is probably the one that will be the most hands-on with the comp plan, but I want all of them to have a chance to be in that conversation. And I encourage members to participate in the public engagement component of the planning process as well. I know until we have the consultant hired and have a roadmap for the process, we don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but there will be multiple public engagement meetings across the county. So it might make sense if Anita attends the one we do in Francisville or Madairyville, but we're going to have those meetings happening later on. And I hope that all of you will participate as individual members of the community in addition to your formal capacity here. So any questions about the strategic plan or the comprehensive plan before we move into talking about marketing?
Is there any version of a TAC strategic plan that exists now? Is there
For
any
tourism?
Yeah.
So there is a little bit like maybe 3/4 of a page to a page in the economic development strategic plan that is sort of like the basis that we want to build on. And there's also like an 8-year-old plan that is basically a spreadsheet with some action items that was done as part of the honestly forgotten the name of it, but of a program we did with state grant funding like 2016, 2017. So there are some bits and pieces that were that our strategic planning committee was using as the groundwork for that. And I have a half-complete draft of the strategic plan that we were working on before the whole comprehensive plan conversation. But I could send that to you if you just want to
Well,
see.
yeah, I mean, my question also was gonna be, as like my first time, the new person here, is there like a document home where things exist that like we have access to that
Not right now.
has,
Not right now, because we don't have a lot of documents.
is it something that we could, work on? And because like every time I need to try to go to look at the agenda or look at those items you sent out, I was like searching in my email for it. And if it was just like, I had a Google Drive folder or whatever, it is that makes more sense to use that I could go to and find that stuff, I would just prefer to do that.
Yeah, I can make that happen, I think. Anything else on strategic plan or comprehensive plan?
I really like the idea of like all those commissions coming together to be able to talk to each other. It feels like that would have the most opportunity for productivity.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard enough to schedule you
I
nine.
know.
Yeah, I understand.
And to be fair, in a scenario like that, I don't foresee us like going through and saying, all right, tourism commission, can you approve your minutes from last meeting? So if we don't have a quorum for some of them, it's not going to be as big of a deal because we're not addressing like normal business. It's more of an information session. So even if it's like 50% turnout, as long as we have voices from each commission, that's going to be helpful. Yeah. Amy, you want to come on up? Amy DeWong with Travel Indiana is here to talk about the proposal she was providing for us, which is in your meeting packet on pages 8, 9, and 10. We have worked with Amy for several years. Last year we got some feedback on the proposal and asked her. Actually, we put back on the microphones on there too. Some pushback, and so she came back with a digital heavier one. After she sent her proposal for this year, we got some more pushback, and so she went back to the drawing board, did some more digital heavy stuff, and I invited her to come here, answer any questions that the TAC may have, and sort of to walk us through the proposal, maybe address anything that is different from last year or past years we should know about.
Not anything different than what's on the proposal that I sent, whatever that was, last week. Gosh, you guys have been in the magazine. You were like one of my first clients when I started with Travel Indiana in like 2017. So I guess that speaks to when tourism kind of started to be a focus maybe for Pulaski County. So you guys weren't in the current issue, the staycation issue that came out in a few weeks ago, but that was the first issue you guys had missed since, spring, I think, of 2017. So, we are a print publication. We print 30,000 copies of the magazine. It's statewide distributed, so it's in 1,000 locations throughout the state. So our main distribution points are the visitor centers throughout the state. We're in the Indianapolis airport, which has been huge for us the last 2 years. We're in most of the rest areas along the interstates. We're in economic development offices, chamber of commerces, hotels in the larger cities, then just various destinations and attractions throughout the state. So 30,000 copies has kind of been our sweet spot. So 30,000 copies. I don't like to hear myself like that.
No,
What was that?
I'll blame it on Nathan.
It's a little feedback. And delayed.
What's that?
I don't know. It's scary.
It's scary here, Nathan.
I don't really know if I need to be like in front of the microphones. Where was I? So 30,000 copies has kind of been our sweet spot. We don't have a lot of waste. When our guys go to deliver the new magazine, they're not picking up the old magazine, or very few. So we do have someone who's kind of in charge of our distribution and does some auditing and making sure that we do move them around. We can move them around. Like if a big chunk is left over, we may not give them quite as many the next time, but we'll move them around. And then the magazine does live online as well. So that's really picked up steam over the last couple of years too. We have 2,000 to 3,000 people look at the issue online as well. So whatever you do in the issue online as well.
Something with Nathan.
It is.
He's the savior that's keeping it together.
Some wires are getting across when I turn the volume up on my phone to check the sound quality. It's actually breaking up the volume here, which has never happened before. It's really concerning.
So whatever you do in the print lives, online on the flip book. What else? That's kind of what we do. So have you guys had a chance to look at the magazine? Are you pretty familiar with the publication? I should have brought a whole stack in here. I have some in my car. I have a couple issues, but so we typically have like a cover story and 2 editorials every issue. So that's a nice balance of ads and editorial. And that's, I think, what most of our clients really, really like. And I always include added value in packages for our year-round clients to be included in those editorials that make the most sense. In the spring, we're doing a water story. Always mention, the river in those types of stories for you guys. What else? Did you guys have a chance to look at the proposal? Did you have any general questions that I can answer? Yeah.
If an ad that runs in print, you said would also live online, do we have the ability to have like clickable links in the ads that would live online?
I don't know if they do that. I don't know if it's really hard to do through the issue. We have the issue, but that is also why we do some digital components the last few years. Our writer will write a story based on a topic that Nathan gives her, and those do live on our home page, and we promote that heavily through our social media and our newsletter, and lives on.
Have we been the ones designing the ads that get run?
Our artists did that initially, and
So I mean,
we've
we could
never
ask for QR codes and things like that to be included.
Oh,
like if you're running something about the river, then QR code to like a landing page.
Sure. More and more clients are doing that. I was always hesitant because I always think they look kind of ick on a pretty display ad, Yeah, but yeah, more and more people are definitely doing that now. I don't know how many people really, when they're looking at a print publication, do that. I've not really gotten numbers from my clients. I've never really asked if that's been useful in there, but I mean, it doesn't.
It does seem like a lot of younger people like those QR codes.
Oh yeah, I know. I know.
And I think it would be
And
useful.
we might be able to track it if the QR code went to a particular landing page, and we might be able to know, if it went to a certain page, like on our tourism website or wherever that lives, then we'd know how many people did it and be able to track.
Sure. And then back to the digital stuff, we have a weekly newsletter that goes out to 7,500 subscribers. We have an open rate of like 37%, so that's really pretty high in the newsletter world. Those are typically sent out on Wednesdays. Most of those are paid clients that are on that newsletter, but some of the times it's just added value, like, a client that's in the magazine all year long. We'll say, do you have an event that you want promoted on the newsletter or something like that? So some of that is included in the proposal. A few years ago, 2 summers ago, we did some research to find out a little bit more about our readers and whatnot. We know that 85% of our readers have planned a trip based on something they've seen in the magazine. Now, whether that's ad or editorial, we didn't get down to that nitty gritty. People probably wouldn't be able to recall that information anyway. But we were all pleasantly surprised at that percentage. And then it kind of goes, whenever he leaves the room.
We'll wait for you to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
weird.
even logged out of the county YouTube channel into my own personal channel, and it still did it. My phone is taking control of this out.
Dun, dun, dun.
Really worrisome.
And 25% have planned 3 or more trips based on something they've seen in the magazine. So I kind of have a little cheat sheet. I can leave this with you with some of those stats. We also know that our readers tend to hang on to the current issue until that next one comes out, or even longer. So they share it, right? They share it with someone else they know. So even though we print 30,000 copies, we say around 53,000 people see each issue. We know the pass along rate's like 1.67 or something crazy, crazy like that. So it is definitely getting into people's hands to help them plan their staycations.
Your package mentions email blasts. Is that the newsletter? Which your newsletter you're talking about?
The email blast is something we started last year. So it's a dedicated email blast to our subscribers.
Okay.
So Ship Shawana's done several, and they give me all the photos and give me all the content. We create the newsletter, send it back to you guys for approval, and then we schedule that. We typically will send our clients out on Mondays because our newsletter goes out on Wednesdays, so we don't want to get in people's inboxes too much. But the average open rate is still 37%, even for those dedicated email blasts.
Okay. Do you have any idea of?
And I can send Nathan a sample of what those look like.
Okay. Do you have any idea of your subscribers, how many are in state as opposed to out of state?
No, that's something we've never, like when we incorporate, we've had a newsletter for a while. We never really asked for that information until a few years ago. So I can maybe get you a little bit, but most of our visitors to the website are Indiana based. So I would assume that most of the newsletter are Indiana residents as well.
Okay.
I think I had. So the top cities that visit our website are Indianapolis, Chicago, Columbus, Indiana, Bloomington, Fort Wayne, Carmel, Lafayette, Richmond, Louisville, and Terre Haute. And Louisville is one of the markets we do distribute a little bit in Louisville, and some of the grocery stores right along the state line. So.
I know I've seen it travel Indiana, and I think I like the magazine myself. Some of the concern with some of the other members that aren't here today, it'd be nice if they were. They felt like the emphasis for a lot of people's planning of vacations was going more towards social media. Do you have any thoughts on that?
85% of our readers have planned a trip based on something
Okay.
they've seen in the magazine. So the print publication is our main focus. Our supplementary ad opportunities are the digital. So, most of my clients do package email some sort of digital with the print, because they know you got to hit all the checkpoints. But people still pick up our magazine,
Mhm.
especially at the visitor centers,
Yeah.
for sure. I live in Chesterton, so the dunes tourism, she's always calling me. I need more. I need more. I'm out. Like, I have no more to give you in my allotment. So, like, they definitely fly off the shelves. And those, especially in those hot spots in the Indianapolis airport, I know we replenish those several times too throughout the quarter.
And let me make sure I got it right. These are new magazines each quarter?
Yes.
Then? Okay.
Yep.
30,000 of each quarter?
Yes.
Okay.
So January, April, July, and October.
Mhm.
And you know, one of the other concerns I've heard from some of the members is that because Travel Indiana is the kind of publication it is, it sometimes feels like any one ad, whether it's ours or Stark County's or Bloomington's, it just sort of blends in and it's hard. I mean, I don't know that this sort of publications you can do anything about because that's the point of it, but it just feels like there's, with everything being oriented towards visitors, it's hard to get it to stand out. That's just.
Gosh, I've not ever been told that actually. So I don't really know how to answer. I might have to think about that. I mean, maybe you need to do a 4-page spread and it'll stand out, or a 2-page spread and it'll stand out. But
Some of that can come back on us, like we, if we're paying for ad space, we can say, this is what we want to focus on, and we can say, this is how we want it to look. So maybe we can look inward too and say, how can we help make it stand out?
and a lot of times I do try to make sure my clients' ads make sense. Like if it's, if we're doing an outdoor story and you guys are promoting outdoor stuff, well, I'm going to ask our designer to make sure that Pulaski's ad is as close as possible to that story. So I don't know if that's maybe the right answer. Yeah, I've never really.
No, I think it helps, and I think it's a good point, that maybe we need to, instead of saying, here's the content we want you to cover, maybe we need to provide a little more guidelines to make sure that the picture is something we think is really going to be an attention grabber, that sort of.
Yeah, and you can change your ad. You can change your ad as many times.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could ask
need
for edits and work
to.
together. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the whole
absolutely.
point of going back and forth with stuff.
Absolutely, and I always, and then I typically meet with or have a conversation with Nathan once a quarter about what the next issue is. I mean, we have a year editorial calendar done, and I have a copy of that in here too. So
And that might be something we could add to future meetings. It's like, okay, we need to look at next quarter. These are the ads that are going to run. Here's what their issues are about. What do we want to highlight in Pulaski County so we can direct our ad money to target exactly what we're hoping to target in those issues that are upcoming.
And Travel Indiana is, essentially a branding magazine, right? A lot of those ads in our magazine are just overall branding ads and are the same every issue because they are trying to, the more you do something, the more people will take note of it. So, yeah, we can definitely change up the ad, swap out photos. And again, that's something, there's never enough photos, right? Like, so start taking photos. I know it's kind of yuck out now, but like as soon as that snows out, we arm yourselves with lots and lots of photos. Because sometimes when we're doing an editorial, we need photos for the editorial laid out. Hey, okay, Pulaski is a great client. I'm going to ask them if they have any additional photos that make sense in the story. So there's a lot of opportunity there to grow that added value.
Like Diana was saying earlier about that Google Drive, it'd be a place to send our photos to. That would be ideal.
Yeah, I just wrote photo contest down on my sheet. Like PCT did a photo contest and just asked local photographers to send in stuff that we could do. Like people are proud to live here and would be happy to go out. Lots of photographers already have on hand. We wouldn't even have to pay a photographer necessarily out of our budget. There are lots of local people who have beautiful pictures and businesses who have pictures of things that they do and represent that they would probably be happy to turn over to us if it would help tourism.
It's a great idea.
Do you have specifications on the photos that are taken, like quality wise?
I mean, gosh, even if you just shoot a photo with your phone these days, it's gonna be
Really?
high enough quality. 1 megabyte, I mean,
Like dimensions they need depending on.
yeah, I know.
Okay. Kelsey, you want to jump in here about anything? Can you hear all right?
She says, I haven't heard nothing you said yet.
Hey, Kelsey?
It's spotty. The sound is spotty. This is not an ideal.
Okay.
To do media, I'll say that.
If I lean closer to the microphone, can you hear me all right? No?
Yeah, I can hear it's just muffled.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Did you hear about the presentation much?
Yes, some of it. I don't have any questions right now. No, thank you.
Okay.
I'm looking at the attachments that Nathan sent, so.
Okay. I had one other comment that your option one, I kind of like that because we're not paying for winter stuff. We're not attracting a lot of tourism in the middle of winter in
And that's-
Pulaski County. So the other three area seasons are what we would really want to concentrate our efforts on, I believe.
Yeah, so Q1, we don't like that winter word either.
Oh, okay.
So, gosh, for the last 10 years, probably. The magazine itself has been around 16. I think we're in our 16th year for the magazine. The last 10 or so, we've called our Q1 our staycation issue instead of our winter issue. So we do tons and tons of itineraries, seriously plan your trip. Like this is what you do on day 1, day 2, day 3, or different things like that. I have one in my bag. I'll leave with you guys. So that's why
When we have done order one in the past, we're not necessarily trying to get people here in the cold months, but it'll be like a half-page itinerary, and I'll break it down. Like Friday, you check into one of Tom's rentals, or you check into Tortuga, and then you catch a movie at the Isis. Saturday, you wake up and you go down to the Warrior Cafe for breakfast, and then you work off the calories from your biscuit and gravy riding on the Panhandle, and then you go see David Connie and you hop on the river, and then you finish dinner at One Eye Jack's, and then Sunday you sleep in, and then you head out, you grab lunch at Tiffany's, and then you head out to Fort Knox, and then you're on your way home. So it's kind of broken down like that, and we'll throw in, it's not super convenient, but we'll always make sure that we'll throw out some stuff, we'll have, I think dinner, it mentions Bill Davies, and we say, if you're here in the fall, you can go see the Sandhill Cranes, we might be worth a trip to Madera for breakfast at Anita's, but that's what we're doing in that first quarter when we've done it in the past. It's basically sort of a teaser for what you can do here once a week.
and those itineraries, everybody does them a little different actually. So his was like Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. Some clients do like seasonal, like we'll break it down into seasons. Some do family fun, over 21, like different categories. So that's kind of totally open too. So that's why I kind of.
Something else that could really work in Q1 is like if you publish like a yearly calendar. Like we have a lot of events and festivals that happen in Pulaski County every year for multiple years. If we publish, not even in Q1, at any point we could get together. You know, there's always the Fall Festival, we have the Potato Festival, we have our 4-H fair, Hometown Holiday, the Outdoor Bazaar in Francisville, the car show that always happens, Art in the Park.
Yeah, so like
those
the-
things happen every year, and a lot of them happen in the same weekend every year. And if someone's willing to, say, yes, we're planning to do this, if we can get that together, that's something that'd be great to publish. Then that feeds into, I know I want to go to Fall Festival, I better book my place to stay now. Where are we going to eat when we are, you know what I mean? So.
I think that's a good point. We're not attracting a lot of people during the winter months, but that's when a lot of people are planning.
They're filling their calendar.
Yeah, that
whole year.
is, in the doldrums of
You know, you got
today,
to
like, yeah.
park 6 months out sometimes.
Exactly.
You have to get that in front of people early.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So that's why I kind of included that in that second option, just
Yeah.
if you wanted to go ahead and just plan it, but yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? I think I
Question?
feel like I
for
covered.
Amy before we, move on?
Covered.
I would like to see one of those magazines. I could.
I got some in my office.
You
I don't
got
say,
some?
and
Okay.
I have.
In my office, down by the entrance, right past the clerk's office, or I think we have some in the spinning rack as well.
Well, I have some in my car. I'm just parked right out front, so
You know,
I think I'm in a good spot. I think I'm in a legal spot.
It's hard to tell right
The
now.
town hasn't repainted yet, so.
I'm like,
Anyone else, anything for Amy? Right, we're gonna try to get the group back together with the quorum so we can make decisions after we deliberated this and gone through the other options we have, but.
yeah, and I'm,
Feel free to
if you
have
see
me.
something in, one option, like I can revise accordingly, or if you guys do decide you just have this much money to spend with Travel Indiana, I can just go back to the drawing board and start over with different size and add options. I don't know if I put it in here. Another option that I didn't include in here is, if you flip through the magazine, you may see some full page presence with like a half page editorial at the top and a half page display ad at the bottom. I saw a lot of those, especially if there's something new and exciting or something that needs explanation. And it makes the magazine look nice to have that broken, like that, those kinds of pages in the magazine. And I discount those pages too, because it just helps us lay out the magazine a little bit. So if there's something new and exciting you have coming up in 26 that maybe, want a little editorial, a kind of paid editorial, that's always an option too. And we look for you guys to write that though, and then we lay the page out and get it back to Nathan for approval or whatever. But
I want to make sure before we release you, one question I had about the packages is, it says it's email blast is included. I think like an option 2, it's in 2 different times. That's like 2 email blasts for the year, right? There's another page that mentions it, a cost per email blast. So if we wanted additional ones, that's more than that, is that right?
so
Am I reading that right?
are you, okay, so like the editorial post?
Yeah, editorial
Package?
package and a dedicated email blast, and then down in quarter 4 is inclusion in 1 email or e-newsletter, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
But one email blast and newsletter, is that right? Is that how it works out?
So the editorial post package, we promote that editorial in our newsletter as part of that package.
Okay,
Then the dedicated email blast is kind of a separate thing on its own.
Mhm.
Just the e-newsletter in quarter 4, that would just be like if you guys are having a holiday event, or if you want to start promoting like the towns or something like that every quarter or something like that, then does that make sense?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just included, I knew you guys were looking at more digital, so I wanted to make sure to at least put the newsletter in quarter 4 because we didn't have an editorial package.
Mhm. Okay. All right.
And we can always move like the editorial post packages around too. Like if you didn't want to do one in spring and you wanted to do one in 4th quarter to kind of help build more traffic in the fall, we could always move those kinds of things around on the proposal.
Thank you. Please feel free to help yourself with some pizza when you're still there. Or a wrap, either one. Thank you. Anything else on this matter before we go into the rest of the agenda?
I guess I need to know, how do we know what our budget is for this, since I'm new to this?
Yep, so we have, So right now, the tax does not have its own budget. All of the commissions I work with are under one department.
Okay.
Eventually, I hope to work with the auditor's office to break some of that out, and since it's all shared staff, a lot of it's needed for departmental budget anyway. We have $40,000 in the marketing.
And what's the fiscal year on that? Is it
It's calendar.
calendar year? Okay.
That's for 26, you're saying. Okay, thank you.
Do we have any money allocated for anything else already, or is this?
I think the only one that's officially allocated is for the D.N.R. credits. Everything else is up in the air.
How much money is that?
I want to say it's about, I think I have it written down in my notes.
What's this?
It's about 7,600 for full page, front page, or back page for one, and then half page in the middle for the other. I don't remember which is fishing and which is hunting. But that's the only thing that is like set in stone is that. And even that, I mean, I think we're committed to the first half of the year, not the second at this point. But yeah, so moving along into, it's a good question, and again, I forgot that not everybody has been part of these conversations we've had about getting a budget cut, and know what we have to work with. So the next one on the list to review is pages 11 through, actually, if you guys want to pause for just a second, there is food for you all to eat. It's here for you guys. Or you can just grab it after we're done, whichever you prefer. You can just help yourself if you want. 11 through 15 are annual partnerships, it's actually semi-annual related contract stuff with GreatNews.Life out of Northwest Indiana. We are committed with them from the 2025 budget through April. And that's when it will come up for renewal, we'll have to decide. I love working with them. They are really good about doing the mix of like profiling and actually coming down and covering events. So like they would usually come down for Winter Wonderland for the electric parade. They've come down for Powerful Past, or at least called somebody from the organization and interviewed. They're very good about meeting with me and Taylor on a monthly or at least quarterly basis to talk about what we want to do. They've covered a lot of stuff. Last year, as I was listening to the meeting recording, I remember that Christy had forgotten at one point that they did a profile on the campground after she and Bill bought it. So like they really cover a lot of things: restaurants, campgrounds, events, things to do. That said, it is a big chunk of the budget. It's like close to a quarter of our allocation. And because we are having these conversations early enough this year, we can talk about whether we want to continue doing them if, when we get closer to April and we get the contract up for renewal, if somebody or a couple of you want to be on the call with me and them to talk about it and bring it back to the full tack before we decide if we want to do it. It's great to work with them. They do a lot. They're actually sometimes more on top of things than I care, and it's like 3 emails before I can reply to them. They do a great job. So what you have in here, the first couple of pages in that section are the recap that they send us every October, and so it'll show you can see all the things that they covered with standalone articles on page 12, plus things that they have featured in their newsletters. So we do get a lot of coverage from them. You can see as far as news media, specifically in the Northwest Indiana region, they serve on page 15. They are second in reach after the Times. There's a lot of merit in what they do. I don't know to what extent that merit translates into value versus how much we're paying.
This would be a quarter of our budget,
Pretty much.
and then what she's doing is another quarter of our
Close
budget,
to it.
and then we've got another quarter of the budget, not quite a quarter of the budget on the D.N.R. So we're 3/4 of our
Pretty much,
budget.
and that's been pretty standard. When last year we were having a conversation about what to do with the last like 7,000 to 8,000.
Yeah.
That was within that same thing.
Okay.
You guys have any questions about anything? I guess since we can't make decisions today anyway, is there anything you would want me to like, go to them and ask about, concern before our next meeting? So that I could answer that and we could bring this before the full
How much control do we have over
100%.
over this?
They are always asking us what they want us to feature. And they'll say, hey, you know what? It's summer, are there events, are there any new attractions for some, so it is almost 100% guided by us.
Another list and the reason of why we should get like a yearly calendar of all the stuff that happens. And then any marketing person we work with, even people who, people who do it for free, who just, share stuff out, then we will have that handy. And then I saw in the posts that are all on here, like it says Pulaski County Community Development Commission. I don't know if that's like a link or something. Does that go to a website? Like is there on page 14, like under all of the little blurbs, it just says Pulaski County Community Development Commission. And I just don't know if that's like a link or something to get more information. Like, do we have any?
I think
Pulaski County tourism. I mean, I think we should make sure that we have, if they're gonna tag, like, that's great, I would like to be tagged, but if that just takes, like, the Community Development Commission page, I feel like that's not helpful for anything.
Yeah,
Like, do we have a tourism page, or can we provide them links to the stories? Like, I think we just need to do a lot more pushing on what people are doing for us when we pay for something. Bother more, sorry in advance.
No. I just brought you guys, this is the staycation from last year that you guys were in this. So.
It looks like a coffee table magazine.
What's that?
You said it's a pretty magazine, it looks like a coffee table magazine, that like you would keep it around.
So this is kind of what the itinerary page looked like, so. A couple copies there, the summer issue, the fall issue, and then the current issue. So, and you guys can fight over this folder.
Thank you.
Anything, any other questions?
Begging to eat some food. Whether you want a
I
couple
know.
slices of pizza or wrap.
May steal a wrap if that's okay with everyone else.
Anything else besides if we stick with them? I have had an ongoing battle with them this summer. Like,
I'm just gonna take my.
they'll do a post on the Pulaski lights, and they'll say the Pulaski County CDC lights. No, these aren't our lights. I'm just the one coordinating the marketing piece. And so we can have that conversation of making sure that they're doing a better job of guiding people to the organization that's responsible for getting credit where it's due.
Thanks for having me, I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming out, appreciate it.
Deadline for April is end of February.
Okay, I'm really hoping to have another meeting like that.
Okay, well, let me know if you guys have questions in the
Thank you.
meantime. Happy to. If you needed to create an email, just everybody and we can just.
Thank you. Anything else on Great News right now?
I just want to mention they could be page 14 covers Facebook and Twitter engagement, so that's kind of what the social
Yeah, they are
media.
all social.
Yeah, so that's kind of what our concern of some of the members that aren't here today. They would really wanted to focus on social media. So I think maybe that covers what they were wanting to do. I'm not sure.
I like the mix of both, though. I mean, I think we need both.
I do too. I totally agree.
The only real downside to Great News, and it's not a downside because we use part, is that it's only about the north central, northwestern, like, I don't know, 20% of the state or something. It's more narrowly tailored in their audience. But they're very active on social media.
I find it hard to believe people traveling from Louisville to come up to Winamac, Indiana, myself. But, I mean, everybody that comes to our highways, I mean, the furthest they come is 2 hours, unless they're like somebody's family that lives in Arizona or something. Other than that, they're not traveling further than that.
That's what we see at the state park.
Yeah,
I mean, we get from Lafayette, Kokomo, South Bend, and.
but it's still that northern half of
Yeah.
Indiana. It would make sense to me.
All right, D.N.R. brought that up briefly, so that one, realistically, of all of the print, digital, and historically television we do, other than when we had TV commercials, that is the one I get the most feedback about, is people seeing. It's also the only thing we do that really focuses on that component of what Pulaski County offers. You know, we don't hit a lot on fishing and hunting in our Travel Indiana stuff or our Great News stuff. That is the one where people are finding out what we have to offer as far as hunting and fishing goes. And I think I may have mentioned this last year when the county was working with a broadband consultant a few years ago. He's from Nashville, Indiana, which is replete with outdoor opportunities, proximity to state parks, and people thinking about coming up there again because, like, I saw your ad in the hunting guide. So that is I do think that one is worth the attention. It's statewide. It's the only focus we ever put on that stuff. You know, people are finding it anytime they're at state parks or maybe bait shops. Next one in your packets is the one I mentioned in the email. I don't really have any particularly strong feelings about this or interest in it. They cold called. Towne Post Network said, hey, would you like to work with us? I said, I'll talk to the Tourism Council. They are a mix, so they didn't come up with a proposal. They just offer, as you can see on page 17, page 18, they just have a whole bunch of different ad sizes and type options that they offer for pricing. They offer a combination of digital and print, and their print is focused in both like social and the email blast, just like Amy was talking about. Their target isn't so much statewide as it is, as you can see on page 17, Indianapolis power communities.
Yeah.
Mostly the higher income level collar communities. I don't know. If we're choosing between Towne Post and Travel Indiana at some point, I feel like Travel Indiana, both the relationship we have and the fact that they're statewide is, yes, it's great that they're focusing on a very niche level income wise. I don't know that that's worth going down that route. But
I agree with that.
that's not my call. Anybody disagree? Anybody think it might be worth diving into, or should we not even present that when we have a quorum?
It wouldn't be my favorite thing to present, but
I would agree, yeah. I feel, I guess, trouble dedicating a lot of dollars towards the Indianapolis area.
there's some really nice state parks down there too. You know, it's gonna be hard to travel up here, you know, I think. We got the river.
Chelsea, do you have any thoughts on the Towne Post Network option?
What did you say?
Do you have any interest on the Towne Post Network option?
No, I can read a lot better when you face the computer though.
What's that? Yeah.
I can hear you a lot better when you face the computer.
I told you this was sort of my pilot with this new setup. I'm gonna have to run a better microphone for Zoom attendees.
So, excuse me, is the microphone over there? Or in
The
front of
camera's
us?
there.
These for anybody watching on YouTube, who's like maybe one person right now is this, but she's on a separate component of the sound system.
Oh, okay.
And for now, I'm gonna have to just run a better microphone. I gotta see if our IT people can help me to integrate it so that she's hearing what the YouTube people are hearing.
Or she's hearing us in general.
All right, moving along, then on the agenda, RadCon, Conncepts. I do not have a proposal up in yet. I want to check in with you folks before we do. It was I mean, he was very diligent in the work he did for us last year. He is interested in continuing. I think it is worth at least considering, but I would like this year, instead of just getting a proposal and me sitting down, asking him to come to a meeting and have a conversation with the full TAC, like we just asked Amy to do, if you guys are okay with that.
Yes.
Work out the numbers, you know, I'll have to ask him to email it to me, because I think he just gave me a print copy. He was able to provide some metrics on his reach with the work he did for us, and I'd like for him to be able to present that to you all. I do think it's worth continuing with him. I just want to make sure that we hammer it all out as a group, instead of last year sort of playing catch up on working with him.
And who is he?
Brad
Catch me up.
Conncepts Marketing. He is a marketing consultant based here in town.
Okay.
He's a local guy.
Very good guy.
So he kind of took over shared responsibility for managing our tourism social media platforms with Taylor. Developed some short videos, helped just to share content generated by local restaurants and tourism attractions, put together some specific content for us, a mix of that sort of thing.
And we paid him. Okay.
Yep. But like I said, I think it's worth it. I just would like to bring him.
You don't remember those numbers at all? Any sort of rough idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would have brought them today, but my guess is they're still sitting in the old office and lost in the chaos of the move. So then, the only other thing listed under marketing is continuing the conversation we had last year about looking at some partnerships with influencers, podcasters, that sort of thing. And I'm sort of going to tie that into the next point on the agenda. Sheila, who is currently the CDC president, came into the office a couple days ago and met with me and Taylor, and we're working on trying to do a better job of making better use of having Taylor in the office. The construction project has taken up a lot of my time and some of hers too, some stuff she has been doing for that. As we're nearing the end of that and trying to get back into a rhythm of spending more time doing our actual jobs, we want to make sure that we are getting the most out of her position as possible, especially since we have not been able to get another staff position in the office. And tourism is where we're working, it's not going to be 100% tourism. She's going to do meeting minutes, as she's been doing. We're going to find ways on other projects. The tourism is sort of like where she feels most comfortable and where there is the most benefit for me personally to have her step up. So, like last year, she was the one reaching out to some of the influencers, the Indiana-focused social media influencers, and by the time she got things that I looked at, it was just getting too late in the season to justify, but she mentioned just today that one of them had gotten back in touch with her, whether we're still interested. And I would like unless you guys object, to give her a little more discretion in making those decisions. If she's not comfortable, she's like, oh, that's a lot of money and I need to make a decision, or you do, so bring it to us, but I want to give her more leeway to take ownership of that.
See, that's my thing. I don't understand how much that stuff costs. I don't know if it's $10 or $10,000. I have no idea if it's between those 2 points.
I've been talking to Indiana, and the way that she is trying to put it out there, I guess, is we would basically decide what her time here in Pulaski County would look like, whether it's certain businesses or she's staying in a certain place. And then it would kind of be like the money that she would be paying to stay in whatever place it is, that would be included in her costs.
Yeah.
And like the things that she would be doing here would be included in her costs. So I mean, we would probably have to come together to decide exactly what we wanted her to do while she was here. And I'm not sure how we would decide that, but.
And if any of that stuff can come through donations, like obviously we have our Airbnbs, I would love to donate, that, just so
And I
that
think, like, rather than,
we don't have to pay.
as we've done in the past, we could do some sort of co-op, depending on who she or another influencer might visit and focus on.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, if you get a shout out for your Airbnb, you cover part of it, and Kirsty, we're going to mention your museum and part of it. And kind of
100%. I'd love to do that.
So the related question to that, besides wanting to give Taylor, regardless of even the tax roll on it, like our office has spending caps on any one individual invoice that we do. So
What is that number?
$7,000.
See, so that's my thing. What if we have two people for $5,000? I'd freak out because that's a fourth of our budget.
Sure, and no, I mean, if we're
I don't
talking
know
about
that much
something
about it. That's what I'm getting at. I don't know if it's a couple $100. I would think that'd be fine.
I'm not comfortable with, unless like at our next meeting, tax it out. We want to allocate $10,000 to podcasts, ads, and or social partnerships. Do what you guys think best based on that. We're going to bring those bigger numbers to you.
Yeah.
The fact that I can spend $7,000 doesn't mean when it's like, 20% or not quite 20%, 17, whatever of the entire allocation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. But I want to give her a little more free reign on like lining things up, rather than me saying, yes, this is okay. If she feels it's good, bring it to me or bring it straight to the tap and have that conversation as part of trying to give her more responsibility and things to do. So related to that, then besides like giving her, we also talked about, I've been giving her more responsibility on the tourism side. Continuing, she has picked up the slack for me doing like just business check-in visits with tourism specific businesses. So she's been out like to Shady Hill in the past and up to Fort Knox. That is one thing I will continue having her do. But we've talked about maybe even having a booth at the Potato Fest or the fall festival, and having, we have a booth set up. We've got the tent and the table cloth and that sort of thing, where she can have brochures. She can also have like non-tourism stuff like the small business programming that we run or connect businesses with. She could have that there, but actually sending her out to some of these events so that we have a presence. People know the TAC exists, know that we're promoting our community's events and businesses. Is there anything else that you want to see out of this office and out of her as far as tourism promotion? And besides the marketing component that we're doing, like actual, whether it's supporting tourism businesses in another way, product development, what do you want to see? And this isn't a question that has to be answered right now. This could be an ongoing conversation. But as we work to make better use of her presence in the office, I want to make sure that what we're doing aligns with the expectations of the TAC and the other commissions that we work.
I'd like to see an overall campaign. Like, I think it's great that she checks in with each individual person, but I think TAC should be like the top of that pyramid that says, here's, is setting the standard on how we, attract tourists here. We have a slogan, we've got branded things, and like if we're setting up a booth, it looks like it's a booth representing one place. That is Pulaski County, not a booth that's got random things from a bunch of people who have something, I think that we're the people who set the tone on it based on feedback and information that we get from all the people Taylor talks to and how other people, those businesses and organizations think the best way is to bring people in here. And that probably starts coming forward when we do the comprehensive plan and the strategic plan. But I'd like to see it be a cohesive, intentional, process. That you can see something that doesn't say Pulaski County and know that they're probably advertising something in Pulaski County,
Anything else to add? Anyone else?
We've talked at some times about trying to track how valuable things are that we approve, or how the media that we get is resulting in people coming in here. And I don't know how we do that, but that's been one of the focuses. Maybe there's some way that Taylor could help out.
I think it's really, I think some of that is just not especially easy because
Yeah.
it's not,
I
you know, it's
would
not
say.
like we've got a checkpoint at the county line. We say,
Mhm.
hey, I'm coming to visit as a tourist, but and part of that is website traffic, which only gets us so far, because it might tell us whether somebody comes to the website, it might tell us that they came here because we had an ad on Travel Indiana's website or an email blast. But it doesn't tell us if they actually came here, let alone where specifically. But I think part of that is in those BRE conversations, to the extent that you or Dave and Connie are able to tell us where their customers are coming from, or to the extent that Tom is able to tell us not just where they're coming from, but why they came here. I think part of that comes in those conversations that she has. And, you know, and we talked a little bit about like place for AI software and how that can show you some of the traffic. And I mean, it's a little bit big brothery with some of the data tracking it does. And that's going to tell us that they're here, where they're, oh, that phone number, that person is from Whitestone, Indiana. They're going to tell us that. It's not necessarily going to tell us that they're here because they saw one of our ads. They might just be here and stopping at Sanders because they're on their way to Michigan, came up 35 and realized that there was some groceries they stole, something like that. So I don't know that there is a perfect solution, but I think there are things that we can intentionally piece together to paint a picture that gets us some of it. So some of it does have to be on individual attractions, accommodations, to have some of their own traffic counting metrics in place to be able to let us know.
I think making partnerships with businesses and organizations that deal with tourism, and specifically, we have Google Forms to get feedback. Like, and you know, I just don't think it's a real thing, but imagine how there's a chamber of commerce, they have all the businesses underneath them, and they work to promote those businesses and provide resources for them. I feel like a tourism council is kind of a similar thing. There's all these businesses that want to benefit from tourism in the county. So it's a two-way street of what are you seeing? What can we do to help you? How can we find resources for you? And, you know, campgrounds and Airbnbs, but also, you know, I'm a part of a group that, well, I do the farmer's market, but another group, like we have events. We had 600 people at our last event. We talked to tons of those people and said, how'd you hear about us? Why are you here? And all that information can funnel towards us at the top of that pyramid saying this is what worked for them. These people over here who want to see people at their event should maybe try it too.
Anything else on Taylor's role and the things that we've sort of hit on incidentals of that right now? Next on the agenda, then, future meetings. Obviously, we're going to need to get one on the books pretty quickly because we did have a quorum today and we need to make these decisions. As I said, in addition to just following these decisions, I want to invite Brad to attend once we get a date in place. As I mentioned earlier, at some point, whether it is an individual TAC meeting or a joint meeting, I want to have a meeting and a conversation at some point with the comprehensive plan consultant once they've been selected and are underway. Once we get these budget allocation decisions set, I'm going to kind of leave it in the ball in y'all's court. Do you want to have a meeting every quarter, every 4 months just to check in? Or do you just, once we've got these, do you want to meet only if something comes up that we need it, or when the comprehensive plan conversation happens? I can, if we don't meet super frequently, I can supplement that obviously with email updates on some of the work that we're doing, especially as maybe Taylor starts her D.N.R stuff. I think probably first quarter, as Taylor reaches out to some of these influencers, we see what sort of options we have for pricing. That might be a couple of meetings before we're able to get everything locked out, but maybe when we get this next meeting scheduled, we talk to Brad, we can say, hey, yes, we want to do proposal one, the cheaper one from Travel Indiana. We want to work with Brad, and we're going to spend $7,000 this year. Here's how much is left to allocate towards the social partnerships, that sort of thing. But I guess like after realistically the first 3 or 4 months, do you guys want any check-in meetings, or is email communication sufficient until something needs to be addressed?
It don't matter to me either way. I mean, I live in Winnemac, I can come to the meetings or I can answer my email. But
It felt like when we were talking about ads and stuff that, I mean, it feels like we're all talking about being more involved, you know, to me, it feels like we should be having more check-ins. Let's go, you know, if we're spending money on something, let's get our eyes on it and make sure we all agree it's the best thing we're putting out there for that dollar that we spent.
Cool. I like that idea.
All right, working on that.
Whoever wants to come to the meeting will come. If they can't come, they can't come.
And as I work on fine tuning that, and we get the virtual attendance policy in place, it'll be a little bit easier for people. Like Beth couldn't come today because of stuff related to 2-hour delay and other issues related to that make it harder. It's just a matter of sitting at home, even 3-4 blocks away or half a mile away. We can be more accommodating going forward. Last thing I have on the agenda is a reminder I do every year for the Economic Development Summit that we hold every year. First and foremost, once the date and location are set, I just encourage you all to attend if you can. We don't know the venue or the date yet, but it'll be the day from Winamac, and close to Winamac. And if any of you have any topics you would like us to consider at the CDC meeting next month, as far as what we want the guest speaker to present on, that would be great. It's all things economic and community development, obviously not just tourism focused. It's been a couple of years since we've had a tourism person, maybe that's the angle. But like last year, our speaker was from the Indiana Financial Policy Institute, and she just kind of gave us a very direct picture of how messy things are for everything in the state, given some of the changes that the state government has made with revenue sources for municipal entities. Many years ago, Connie Scott, one of the first ones we did, talked about tourism with a specific focus on the river, and I think we had somebody else talking about the river from an ecological perspective, so we had a dual speaker event. One of the earliest ones we did was also, it was like a panel discussion with, a couple of times I've done panel discussions on small business funding and support opportunities, that sort of thing. We did a very early panel in Dairyville where we actually had some local businesses in the chamber talk. A few years later, we did one at Meadow Springs where we had small business administration and small business development center, and the SBA's 504 program. I'll talk about programs for small businesses. So if you think of anything like you would like to hear the guest speaker talk about, shoot me an email or let me know otherwise, so that I can bring that up to the conversation in the CDC meetings next month. But I want to make sure that it's a guest speaker who isn't just engaging, but is talking about something that you all want to hear and think the community will benefit from. Does anybody have anything for the good of the order that we have not yet discussed? Do we have any public comment? It is 12:43. Does anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Anyone want to second that motion?
I'll second.
Anyone opposed to calling it a day? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you very much for your attendance. Please take some food. Orders before we do, how many people will be here?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you really thought we were gonna eat, huh?
I am going to take whatever is left over in turn from pizza is going to go out to the municipal complex. As town manager made the street guys clean out my office since I hadn't done it yet.
Nathan, where do I need to?
All right, ready?
All right.
Is that
Take all that?
heavy equipment?
This needs to go out to
Okay, thank you.
When are your fruits?
Yes.
Check out the basement.